The next resource I have listed here is one referred to in the Edmonds Community College Emergency Operations Plan. Um, it's called the Liaison Officer. I imagine this group to be made up of volunteers from the Edmonds Community College staff and faculty population. These people will be interested in student, visitor, staff, and faculty safety in the event of an emergency and will volunteer their time to become familiar with the emergency response plan and how they can be of assistance in the event of an emergency. These people ought to be certified in CPR, AED, and the application thereof. They ought to be CERT team members, in my opinion, because they'll probably be working with CERT team members, or the skills learned in the Community Emergency Response Team program will be useful to them. I can remember in taking the course, something that has stuck with me is the urban search and rescue briefing that was provided. Sort of gave you a good idea of how to approach a building in after the event of an emergency or an incident, and how to behave in and around possibly compromised building. The next recommendation I have for these individuals is the briefing of campus evacuation criteria and emergency response prioritization, again, so they may be on the same page as the security department, who will be kick-starting the emergency response. The use of this resource will includes this description. Staff and faculty members who wish to volunteer as liaison officers to the security department will be used to evacuate assigned buildings, and by that I mean if they teach in a certain class. If they're already in a building and the earth starts to shake and they realize everybody needs to either hunker down or get down, they can sweep that particular building. People that are not paid to be on campus and going into buildings that are dangerous should not be going into buildings that are dangerous. The liaison officers, although they have volunteered to be a little more at risk, need to recognize safety themselves, and so they'll be sweeping buildings as they leave them. And back to this here description. They'll evacuate assigned buildings during the initial response phases of an incident, then will transition to support entities as emergency management takes control of the scene. Student liaison officers, made up of volunteer Edmonds Community College student and non-employee individuals, will be briefed on campus evacuation criteria and emergency response prioritization. Again, similarly to the security department, making sure everybody's on the same page, making sure that individuals, at least those barking orders in the event of an incident, understand what the flow of evacuees should look like, what items ought to be snagged as individuals are leaving a building and what ought to be disregarded and left. The use of portion says, students and non-employees who wish to volunteer as student liaison officer to the security department will assist students, staff, and individuals kept at staging areas that are considered safe. The "that are considered safe" portion of that statement reinforcing the idea that these are not people, the student liaison officers, these are not people that we want to have in dangerous situations. They are in fact the people that those putting themselves into dangerous situations are looking to protect. So we don't want to have them getting injured. We don't need the liability, and their injury would sort of be equivalent to failure on the part of the emergency managers. Mutual aid officers, made up of individuals from external support entities, and by this, the folks I have in mind are officers from other security departments, such as those at Edmonds Shoreline Community College. They will be briefed on campus evacuation criteria and emergency response prioritizations. Not more requirements, because they will not be considered the primary officers on campus, and so they won't be really the ones looked to or asked to operate machinery or take responsibility for important inter-operations decisions, etc. The use of description here say through mutual aid agreement, liaison officers to the security department, possibly issued by security departments from other schools, will assist in emergency management, and it's that simple. They're there to help, and we appreciate that.